So I'm thrilled today to welcome Nina Fountain. Nina Fountain is the executive stylist. She gives women in leadership the power of style that enhances their executive presence. She works online with women in the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Welcome, Nina. I'm going to pass the stage to you.
Thank you. It's amazing to be here. Fantastic to see some familiar faces and I think as we come to this, we're probably thinking that style is something where there's a lot of judgment, there's a lot of rules, and there seems to be these, the Devil Wears Prada has established this concept in our mind that there are fashion doyens who decide what's right and what's wrong. So we're really looking at this today through the lens of what is the role of style to us as business people. And I do work with women in leadership mainly, but this absolutely applies to all of us today. So we're people in business, women in business, men in business. So could you pop into the chat which rooms matter for you most in your business? So bring to mind the places where you need to be to further your mission and to grow your business, and add those places into the chat. They might be virtual places, they might be physical places, they might be platforms, they might be meeting types, and it's helpful to have those in mind as we're thinking these through. So people are saying um, in on Zoom, virtual meetings, rooms with lots of authors, speakers, thought leaders, and so these are the places where we're wanting to grow our businesses. And no doubt you want to feel invigorated and inspired as you step into these rooms. And if you're perhaps not quite getting the traction that you expected there, or you're feeling not as seen, or even not as at home there, then today you'll discover 3 actions that you can take to make this the year that you build the right kind of influence in those rooms. And the big difference in 2025 is that we have moved beyond the casual days of COVID. And a lot of people don't realize the effect that their visual language is having on their business relationships now, and haven't quite kind of reset after COVID, I think. So keep that in mind as we go through. Why am I interested in this? Because I'm a trusted stylist, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm also a management consultant. So I have had my own TV appearances, a live TV, national TV appearance. I've given my own keynotes, and I know what it's like to be a leader and to be in the public eye. So I work with women in my styling work to get their clothes, shoes, and accessories to elevate their authority. Now, I'd love to ask you, what percentage do you think is of the first impression is based on appearance? So that includes your clothing, your grooming, body language, facial expressions. Just drop into the chat what percentage you believe is related to your appearance. Yeah. Krista, I probably don't want to know. Love it. Laura, 100%, 75%, 90%, 90. So you are all my people. You get the importance of this personal appearance. You get the importance of our appearance and into our impression that we're creating. And you're actually overstating it. So, but you get it. It's 55% according to research. But you get how important it is. So if you're not convinced, uh, there's something you could test to try this. And let's even just play this out. Have you ever worn a jacket that you love, or a new color, a different outfit, and you've walked into the room and you've received a positive comment on that? And you think, this person has never commented on my clothes before. And in that moment, what's happened is that your appearance was noticed, and you've noticed that you were noticed. What you wore made an impact. But you may have noticed that as well, that a lot of the time people don't comment. And that creates a problem. Style is non-verbal most of the time. People don't talk about it until they do. So in one of my networking meetings recently, I heard about a woman who attended 3 interviews to get an executive position. And she attended the first two looking fully professional. And then the third one, she attended in a t-shirt. And I need to just get my screen moved up here so I can give you the rest of it. And her recruitment agent, trying to move things around here, sorry. Her recruitment agent heard about it from the company that she was being recruited to. A can you believe it conversation happened. And then the recruitment agent talked to me about it, a can you believe it conversation, but no one said anything to her. So style conversations are not always front and center, but style does get noticed and it has an impact. And when I talked with Judy Baker from Grad Connections about this anecdote, she mentioned she used to work in HR and she said, you can bet that they reduced her salary in that position because of how she turned up to that third interview. She did get the job, but her impression let her down. So first impressions influence the future relationship. Studies have shown that first impressions formed during our initial interactions can then determine the trajectory of relationships. So for instance, college students' early judgments about their potential friends often influence their relationship development over 9 weeks. And I think college, it's different to business, but similar in that it's temporary, but we're going to have a lot of interaction together in the meantime. So does this matter in business? Are we in the business of building relationships? And as entrepreneurs, I believe we are. We're in a bigger game of influence. We are influencing in all kinds of ways. We're shifting the way people behave in terms of their readiness to engage with us, to purchase, or to transform themselves and their business through the work that we do with them. So none of our marketing, sales, or delivery succeeds unless we have influence. And that makes influence a pressing issue for us as entrepreneurs. If we aren't effective influencers, then we don't have a thriving, growing, succeeding, impactful business. And it's why style is more important than most people realize. Style can show that you care or that you don't. It can show that you get the way things work around here or that you don't. It can signal how comfortable or uncomfortable you feel in your own skin, and it can express the core of your personality. So how can we make style influential? And let's call that authoritative style. And excuse me while I just turn this heater down next to me. It's like winter here, it should be summer. How can we make style influential to the point where it's authoritative? It's a journey of phases I've discovered. So the first phase is authentic style, where you feel that your style is really aligned with you, that you can be fully yourself. You can turn up in integrity. And it's the style that's actually easiest to wear, which makes it extremely powerful. It's low friction. You feel like you're wearing your second skin rather than pretending to be someone else. And this is a real basic for influence because when you look great, you feel great. And when you feel great, you play well. So there are a few things that really help you to land this authentic style. There's 3. The first is knowing your style persona, and that is the style direction that connects with your personality. And I have a 5-minute quiz I can gift you, which I'll show you how to get access to at the end of this, so you can get clear on your style direction. The second question to ask yourself is your body shape being flattered so that it's working according to design principles? It's not about necessarily being flattered to the point where you're trying to be noticed in a way that's beyond the circumstance. So it's still appropriate to the circumstance. Like for example, the sexy versus modest continuum. Like we're not talking about that. We're just talking about harmonious design. And when your figure is out of balance, then that can be kind of distracting and it creates this like kind of feeling. And one thing I noticed is because we're all online, people aren't managing the frame necessarily very well. So they're not seeing themselves as their audience sees them. They're probably just turning up, just got here. Sorry about what I'm wearing. but but they're kind of not actually managing the way they turn up in that moment. And now we need to be thinking about that balance and harmony in the design within this frame, within this square, because that's how we're doing a lot of meetings. And it's just like you would create a well-balanced room or a well-appointed gallery. It's that look and that experience that you're creating for people is harmonious. It makes it easy. It invites them in, and that's the beauty of really thinking about that, the shapes and the style that you're presenting. And when you get that alignment with your personality, you get the shapes nicely balanced. Then you're almost all the way there. The next thing you can do to create that authentic aligned style is to align with your perfect colors. And that sounds like a high aim. And I think knowing your perfect colors is great knowledge. You don't have to necessarily wear them all the time if you don't have access to them, but they make a huge difference for whether you look healthy rather than drained, harmonious rather than clashing. So those are your style essentials, the very basics of influential style. And Susan's prompted me to share an offer. So you can get these 3 style essentials sorted with a quick start package that I'm offering only in January. And I'll tell you more about that shortly. But then the next phase is what I call being adept. And that's where your style is supporting you to be attuned to your clients and peers. And you're also invigorated by how you're showing up. And you're fully effective because there's this thing called enclothed cognition, which means that your clothes actually support you to be productive or creative. And different clothes that you wear help you to get into a mode. So we can have this powerful experience where clothes support us to be our effective best. And you get that by having a complete collection that works across all of your work environments, all of your work contexts. And that takes a bit longer to get to. So I see it as a journey, but of course, not long at all if you work with me. And then the third phase is authoritative style. And this is when people feel an affinity with you. They feel somehow that there's something about you that they're drawn to, and you have such cachet with them that you're able to pull off things like innovations and transformations that they really buy into. You're delivering excellence. You're a top tier transformational person, and your style is absolutely consistent with that. It's really hard to imagine the president of a country or a CEO or a top tier consultant turning up in track pants, UGG boots, or jeans with ripped knees. You just wouldn't see that because it's inconsistent. So when you're being top tier and transformational, everything is consistent, including your style. And an executive friend of mine recently said, at this level, working at that executive level, presence is everything. And I think that translates to us in business in that, how are we wanting to be seen? Are we wanting to be seen as those top tier transformational people? Then people are getting a message from us from our visual language. And that's why in a few months' time, I'm starting something called the Presence Community, because the way you carry yourself, your confidence, the way you interact is another form of subtle language that goes alongside your style. So there's huge value, huge opportunity in communicating through how we dress. And when you take up my quick start package, which is available in January 2025 only, you get to understand your perfect colors with my precision color analysis. You get to refine your collection with a 2-hour wardrobe edit. You get to enjoy fresh looks and suggestions for your shopping list. And I do an equivalent pricing thing for different economies. So I use purchasing power parity rather than the currency conversion. So you can contact me for equivalent pricing in Canadian dollars if you're in Canada. My services are guaranteed. And I mentioned that there'd be 3 actions that you can take, and I want to give you a couple of gifts here. And it looks like there's some things happening in the chat, so I'll come back to those shortly. But the 3 actions you can take are firstly to do an A/B test if you dare. So turn up to your next meeting looking totally on point and see, do you feel great and do you play great? Do you see and feel the difference for yourself when you have turned up in something that you know looks great, looks on point? Um, the second thing to do is to find 3 garments in your closet that you haven't worn for years and put them aside because they're not serving you. And that will get you in the frame of refining your collection and realizing that you probably have some things that that aren't serving you, that aren't working for your entrepreneurial life. Then you can take the style persona quiz and use the coupon GRAND to get that for free as my gift. And if you really want to move the needle, book a quick start session with me by messaging me on LinkedIn for the payment link relevant to your currency. And I'll drop that link in the chat. Or you can get started as well. I haven't mentioned there, but the 5th one is you can attend a Q&A session next week as my guest as well. And I have a coupon for that too, and I'll drop that link in the chat. So you can take control of the narrative of this nonverbal language of style when you clarify authentic style that aligns with you, when you build a complete collection, and when you turn up consistently with the kind of presence that inspires and builds trust. And that's when you've removed confusion, you've clarified your message, and you've supported yourself to achieve the transformations that your clients need. And that's it from me. Thanks, Susan.
Thank you, Nina. Well, who's inspired to go through that closet? I guess when a when statement would be when I hear of somebody that says to me that they don't feel good in the clothes that they wear, would be a good person to refer to me.
Yes, absolutely. Or they're aware that they need to build trust and to inspire their audience,
Yeah.
and that those
A
high
lot of
standards.
us, we are going through a journey where the book comes out. We're starting to do more stages, and we say, "Oh, I need to ramp up my professionalism. I need to talk to Laura so that I can actually use my camera right, and I'm not looking down and looking up and whatever."
Yes,
And
yes, that's
I
right.
need to figure out how to look better on camera and when I'm presenting. So that's very big. Then we need to come, and this needs to be done very soon, is go talk to Iris, because our LinkedIn profiles, everybody goes to our LinkedIn profile. And they also go to your website. So that's me. If you'd ever want me to, I give free audits of your website. You can give me a call and we'll book a time and go through what quick fixes you can make right away. It all ties together. It's your presence, it's your brand, it's your personal style. It's all part of who you are and the value you offer people, and of course the follow-up and how you consistently deliver value to your clients. So we're all working on it, right? Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Nina.